Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So as you can tell by the title, I'm doing another mobile braider advice type of video. They seem to be doing pretty well on this channel, so I guess you guys like them or something. So this is going to be a quick video. I'm just going to be explaining 5 boundaries or rules or something like that. Don't really know what to categorize it as, but it's just 5 things to have in place when you decide that you want to become a mobile braider. So you want to have these things thought out beforehand before you start advertising yourself as a mobile braider or a mobile stylist. So first things first is the obvious, and that is how you are going to make sure you are compensated for your traveling. Because remember, when you're offering a mobile service, you are offering convenience, and your job actually starts from the time you start driving to your location, not just when you get there and you actually start doing their hair. So there are different ways to charge for this. I will say the most common way is just having a flat fee for traveling. So you have your regular price list with all your hair services that you're going to provide, and then after that you're going to add on your travel fee. But there are other ways that some braiders and mobile stylists like to add on their travel expenses or travel costs. So some like to actually charge for the gas. Me personally, I feel like that's a little too confusing because gas prices go up and down all the time. Also, you can travel to one place and pay one amount in gas and then travel to that same exact place on some other day and end up paying a whole different fee because you'll be stuck in traffic or you have to take a different route or something. So I just feel like charging for gas like penny for penny is just too up and down. It fluctuates too much. So I won't recommend that, but that is an option. Another way is to charge for the distance. So some people charge per mileage, whether it's $1 a mile, 50 cents a mile, something like that. People will charge for the mile or however else you would measure your distance, whatever works for you. And then the last way that I know of, I personally don't agree with it at all, but some people, they would work how I do, where they have their own business at their house or at a salon or something, but then they also provide traveling services as well. So they have their price list set for their stationary services, and then they'll have a completely separate price list for their travel fees. So it's the same services, but they will charge more for each additional service. I personally don't agree with this because let's say you go to one location and you have multiple clients, or you have one client and they want multiple services. So let's say you go somewhere and you have 3 clients in this one place and everyone is paying a higher than normal fee because you have a travel price list. Technically, you're getting paid to travel to that one location 3 times, even though you only made that trip once. Do you know what I mean? So to me, I feel like it's a little unfair. So I feel like the easier thing to do, or the easiest thing to do, would be to just have your regular fees for all your services and then add on a travel fee on top of that and just have that one flat fee. Or you could also charge according to the distance or however you want to. But I just don't think it's right to adjust your actual service price list. So the next thing you want to have in place is the distance that you are willing to travel. That is something you really want to think about before you start advertising yourself as a mobile stylist. Are you only willing to travel within your city, within your state, within your county, whatever it is, you want to have that set in place. Me personally, I always say I will travel anywhere as long as my expenses are covered. So if it's somewhere far enough for me to have to fly to, if my flight is covered and my hotel is covered, I'm going. Not that that's happened multiple times, only once I've had to fly for an appointment. But yeah, if I ever have to travel anywhere further than usual and I have to pay more in tolls or stay overnight for whatever reason, if the client is willing to cover those fees, then yes, I will travel. But obviously, if they're not willing to pay that, it's not really worth it for me to take the job because I won't even break even in that instance. So yeah, but me personally, I don't have a limit, but obviously almost all of my clients are within the area that I live in. But yeah, that's 100% up to you, but always make sure that your travel fees are covered. Next thing you want to have in order, you want to have your policies set. And I talk about policies all the time. So policies are cancellation fees, late fees, no-show. Even though when you're traveling, I feel like cancellation is really the only one you can have because you can't charge a late fee because how are they going to be late when you're the one traveling? You know what I mean? But yeah, you want to have a limit to how soon they can cancel or things like that. How much of a deposit you want to take. And I always recommend taking a deposit. Trust and believe. Having a portion of your payment already set in your hand solidifies your appointment way more than just saying, okay, I'll be there on Thursday at 6:30. You always want to have some part of the money because people are flaky. Like, this is the real world and you can't trust everybody, unfortunately. And people will cancel on you last second. They will just not show up. They will not tell you they don't want their hair done anymore. Your time is wasted. You could have had another client in that spot. So always take a deposit. It can either be non-refundable or refundable up to a certain amount of time, whichever, but just make sure you take something to set set that appointment, and that is how you can have their spot held. I feel like if you're offering a mobile service, always make sure that your travel fee is given to you in advance. You don't want to go there and then have it. And I say that because I'm going to say many times, but it was always by the same client. But it's when I first started doing here as a traveling service and I had no rules set in order. It was one client in particular. I would always text him and be like, hey, I'm on my way. And then 15, 20 minutes into my drive, he will text me and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you I'm not going to be home. And I already drove there. And I already had the spot there. And I had no money in my hand. Complete waste of time. Complete waste of the day. You know what I'm saying? So always make sure to at least have your travel fee in your hand before you even confirm that appointment. Or I should say, tell your client that in order to confirm their appointment, they need to send you a deposit. So this next one might seem obvious, but at least for me, it wasn't at the very beginning. And that is to have your list of services that you're willing to provide before you even start offering the service. Keep in mind that you'll be working in somebody else's space, not your own space, not a salon, not your own customized unit, none of that. You are in someone else's home, and for that reason, some services just aren't as easy to provide as others. Me being a full-fledged hairdresser and not just a braider, there are many services that I can provide in a hair salon that I cannot provide in somebody's house. So the list of services that I can provide at a salon or at my house is a lot longer than the list of traveling services that I can offer. So you really want to take that into consideration when thinking about starting a mobile business. It's very limited what you can and can't do. And then finally, I feel like this is a small one because this doesn't really apply to me, but I watch a lot of other mobile braiders and hairstylists also. And another policy or rule that they have set in place is what condition they want the house to be in when they get there, or not the house, but the workspace. And these are things such as no smoking when they're in the house, understandable, no pets, semi-understandable, and then there's one that I just can't bring myself to have as my own rule, but I follow a mobile braider whose rule is that the house has to be clean when she gets there. I can't bring myself to say that to somebody. I just can't bring myself to, I don't know, I can't do that. Because what are you going to do if you get to the house and the place is still messy even though you said it has to be clean? Are you going to say, oh, I can't work in this messy house, I have to cancel your appointment, and you're already there? I mean, granted, I would prefer for the place to be clean and organized because it's just better for me. Work-wise, obviously, it's easier for me to set my things up, and also it just feels better to be in a clean environment. But the truth of the matter is not everybody is clean or organized, or maybe not clean or organized to your level of cleanliness. But I feel like when you are offering a traveling service, you can't really make rules about how their house should be. Like, that's a sacrifice that you are taking by offering their service, is that you're going to let them have the comfort of being in their own space. You can't go to their place and then try and customize it to your needs. You know what I mean? To an extent, you can, but I just can't bring myself to actually tell a client, your house has to be clean. Because to me, I feel like I'm automatically giving off a judgmental personality. Am I too nice? Am I being naive? But the other rules I definitely do agree with the whole no smoking thing. I've never told a client that they can't smoke in their house, but do not smoke around me. Because a lot of my clients who do smoke, they would ask me if I mind them smoking, and I would just say, yes, I do. And if they have to take a smoke break, they'll go outside or go to another room where it's not really going to affect me. I mean, obviously, you're going to smell it regardless. Like, if they're smokers, you're going to smell that, but don't blow smoke in my face. Don't be smoking my atmosphere. Same thing with pets. I would never say that a client can't have pets, but please keep them in another room, or not even in another room, but just keep them contained or controlled. Because I get it, everyone believes that their pets are their family, they're people too, and all that stuff. Okay, I get it, and I'm an animal lover as well. But at the same time, if you have free roaming pets, so dogs, cats, I don't know, rabbits, hamsters, whatever, they're curious creatures just like we are. So they're going to try and get into my stuff because they're not used to it, and that has happened plenty times. I've gone into a client's house and their puppy crawled inside my bag. Now I have to clean and sanitize everything, and I haven't even used it yet. I've had pets trying to eat my products, putting their face in a bowl of color or something, you know what I mean? So it is okay to ask your clients to keep their pets separated or at least under control. I feel like that's an understandable thing. So yeah, all in all, I feel like it is okay to set some sort of boundary when it comes to the condition of the place you're working in. I just don't agree with telling them to clean your house. That's weird to me. But most people will clean it anyway because most of us were brought up where in a way where if company's coming over, you want to clean your house. Even if it's already clean, you want to make it extra clean, you know what I mean? But not everybody was, but you can't really complain about that, not in my opinion. So anyways, those are my 5 boundaries or tips or rules or whatever you want to call it that you want to have set in place before you start your mobile business, because you always want to get all this stuff figured out before you're ready to say, I am a mobile braider or I am a mobile hairstylist. You want to get all that out of the way. So those are my 5 little tips. I hope you guys found that helpful and enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!